obvious? Okay. Point it kind of toward that. Is it down?
Testing, 1, 2, 3.
All right. There we go. Great. Perfect. All right. Oh, great. And the words aren't up there.
Yeah.
Fabulous.
That thing is here, and it's not here. So I think I need to shift that one over. Can you stand at the lectern for just a moment for me, please? I need to steer a light. Is this pointed at you, I think?
Yeah, it's kind of like in my face. Then perfect.
No, dude. Right there. Yeah. Oh, the seer's shadow behind you now. So that's what it's doing. One of those. That's one of the funny things about the fencing that when we talk about I'm aware you're supposed to profile and stuff, because people would think this
I like to tell us when we're in the words.
Right.
Extinguished source. We walk
Is
out.
that good? Or further?
It says that I walk out, but this is what I'm wearing.
Okay. There was an X though too, so. Do you want me to adjust the camera or not?
I'm happy to walk out with you.
That just
Yeah.
seems like.
Joanna can sit by herself, but I'm happy to walk out with you.
Just so there's like a.
Yeah. Where's that shirt?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
No, I saw the old one like sitting on the side. I'm like,
Good morning. Whether you're participating here in person or online, we say welcome home to Live Oak Unitarian Universalist Church. My name is Mark Anderson, and I'm so glad all of you are here. For our guests, I'd like to invite you to subscribe to the Live Oak Weekly Newsletter. It's the go-to place in order to know everything that is happening here. There's a link on our homepage. Our minister, Reverend Joanna, is on sabbatical through August, but we are very pleased to welcome Reverend Jami Yandle to our pulpit. Reverend Jami is a Board Certified Chaplain, uses they, them pronouns, and will be with us until Reverend Joanna returns. When Reverend Jami is not here, they will be in Georgetown, where they serve as the minister for the San Gabriel Unitarian Universalist Fellowship. Reverend Jami also serves the UUA as a Hope for Us conflict engagement team coach and is a board member for the Texas Unitarian Universalist Justice Ministry. Welcome, Reverend Jami. And now, here and at home, let us light our chalices. Today's words are from Dillman Baker Sorrells. For holy days on which we recall the old stories, we light the flame. For Passover, which reminds us of the courage and strength of those seeking freedom in the past, we light the flame. For Easter, which reminds us that love is our greatest challenge, we light the flame. For gathering today in this sacred space, we light the flame. For the opportunity to be together as a community, to remember the past, to plan for our future, to be alive in our present. Our opening hymn is number 86, Blessed Spirit of My Life. Please rise either in body or in spirit and join us in singing. Every week when we gather, we share pieces of our lives with each other. We share our sorrows so that we may offer comfort to one another. And we share our joys so that we may celebrate together. For those of you watching online, please share in the chat box any joys or sorrows that you are carrying today. In this religious community, we hold with reverence the knowledge that each week, a multitude of different emotions and experiences are brought together in this space. One of us may be celebrating, one weeping, one filled with determination, another with despair. This mosaic of experiences is holy, and we honor it all with our witness.
Good morning. We're going to test this technology. I'm unfamiliar with it. The story for this morning is Miss Rumphius, and if any of you know it, we're going to do an abbreviated version because it is very long, and I want to not keep you captive today. The Lupine lady lives in a small house overlooking the sea. In between the rocks around her house grow blue and purple and rose-colored flowers. The Lupine lady is little and old, but she has not always been that way. I know, she is my great aunt, and she told me so. Once upon a time, she was a little girl named Alice who lived in a city by the sea. From the front stoop, she could see the wharves and the bristling masts of the tall ships. Many years ago, her grandfather had come to America on a sailing ship. Now he worked in the shop at the bottom of the house, making figureheads for the prows of the ships. He painted pictures, too, of sailing ships and places across the sea. When he was very busy, Alice helped him put in the skies. In the evening, Alice sat on her grandfather's knee and listened to his stories of faraway places. When he had finished, Alice would say, "When I grow up, I too will go to faraway places. And I grow old, I too will live beside the sea." "That is all very well, little Alice," said her grandfather. "But there is a third thing you must do." "What is that?" asked Alice. "You must do something to make the world more beautiful," said her grandfather. "All right," said Alice, but she did not know what that could be. In the meantime, Alice got up and washed her face and ate porridge for breakfast. She went to school and came home and did her homework, and pretty soon she grew up. Then my great aunt Alice set out to do the 3 things she had told her grandfather she was going to do. She left home and she went to live in another city far from the sea and the salt air. There she worked in a library, dusting books and keeping them from getting mixed up, and helping people find the ones they wanted. Some of the books told her about faraway places. People called her Miss Rumphius now. Sometimes she went to the conservatory in the middle of the park. When she stepped inside on a wintry day, the warm, moist air wrapped itself around her, and the sweet smell of jasmine filled her nose. "This is almost like a tropical isle," said Miss Rumphius, "but not quite." My great aunt, Miss Alice Rumphius, climbed tall mountains where the snow never melted. She went through jungles across deserts, and she saw lions playing and kangaroos jumping, and everywhere she made friends she would never forget. Finally, she came to the land of the lotus eaters, and there, getting off a camel, she hurt her back. "What a foolish thing to do," said Miss Rumphius. "Well, I have certainly seen faraway places. Maybe it is time to find my place by the sea." And it was, and she did. From the porch of her new house, Miss Rumphius watched the sun come up. She watched it cross the heavens and sparkle on the water, and she said, "What a glory this is to be here this evening." She started a little garden among the rocks that surrounded her house, and she planted a few flower seeds in the stony ground. Miss Rumphius was almost perfectly happy. "But there is still one more thing I have to do," she said. "I have to do something to make the world more beautiful. But what? The world already is pretty nice," she thought, looking over the ocean. The next spring, Miss Rumphius was not quite well. Her back was bothering her again, and she had to stay in bed most of the time. The flowers she had planted the summer before had come up and bloomed in the spite of the stony ground. She could see them from her bedroom window, blue and purple and rose-colored. Lupines, said Miss Rumphius with satisfaction. I have always loved lupines the best. I wish I could plant more seeds this summer so that I could still have more flowers from next year. But she was not able to. After a hard winter, spring came. Miss Rumphius was feeling much better. Now she could take walks again. One afternoon, she started to go up and over the hill where she had not been in a long time. I don't believe my eyes, she cried when she got to the top. For there now, on the other side of the hill, was a large patch of blue and purple and rose-colored lupines. It was the wind, she said as she knelt in delight. It was the wind that brought us the seeds from the garden here, and the birds must have helped. Then Miss Rumphius had a wonderful idea. She hurried home to get her seed catalogs. She sent off to the very best seed house for 5 bushels of lupine seed. All that summer, Miss Rumphius, her pockets full of seeds, wandered over fields and headlands sowing lupines. She scattered seeds along the highways and down on the country lanes. She flung handfuls of them around the schoolhouse and back to the church. She tossed them into hollows and also stone walls. Her back didn't hurt her at all anymore. Now some people called her that crazy old lady. The next spring, there were lupines everywhere. Fields and hillsides were covered with blue and purple and rose-colored flowers. They bloomed along the highways and down the lanes. Bright patches lay around the schoolhouse and back of the church. Down in the hollows and along the stone walls grew the beautiful flowers. Miss Rumphius had done the third most difficult thing of them all. My great aunt Alice, Miss Rumphius, is very old now. Her hair is very white. Every year there are more and more lupines. Now they call her the lupine lady. Sometimes my friends stand with me outside her gate, curious to see this old, old lady who planted the fields of the lupines. When she invites us in, they come slowly. They think she is the oldest woman in the world. Often, she tells us stories of faraway places. When I grow up, I tell her, I too will go to faraway places and come home to live by the sea. That is all very well, little Alice, says my aunt. But there is a third thing you must do. What is that, I ask? You must do something to make the world more beautiful. All right, I say. But I do not know yet what that can be. The end.
Every week, we engage in the spiritual practice of generosity, combining our resources to support the ministries of this church. Part of our mission is to empower dreams, and this Sunday we will be sharing the offering with RACES, the Refugee and Immigrant Center for Education and Legal Services, to help empower their dreams to provide free and low-cost legal help to immigrant children and families and to refugees in Texas. We now invite you to go to liveoakuu.org and click on Donate.
That was gorgeous. We have another round of applause for that. So, hey, Mark. It looks like there's kind of a crowd this morning. Is something going on? All right, just a few things. It's Easter and Passover and Ramadan. It's almost like the turning of the earth from winter to spring has been important to humans for a really, really long time. It is also my first Sunday with you here, you good folks of Live Oak UU Church, as your sabbatical minister. Reverend Joanna, if you were watching at home, don't. Go have a sabbatical. We have plenty of good trouble to get into here while you're gone. I've already ordered the burnt orange neon aquamarine paint for your office walls. I think it's going to be here next week. But in all seriousness, I am so happy to be serving as your sabbatical minister until Reverend Joanna's return in September. I am concurrently serving as the minister of San Gabriel UU Fellowship in Georgetown, Texas, and I would like to welcome everyone from that congregation who is viewing online in that sanctuary here this morning. Hi, San Gabriel. I love you. And that's what's super great about Unitarian Universalism is in our shared faith, is that we can do awesome things like have combined services on Easter. May the seeds we sow together this spring make a continuous garden that spans across the whole of North America. During April, our thoughts naturally turn to the gardens we are planting, the blooms popping up all around us. Our sneezes and watery eyes here in Texas don't really let us forget that it's pollination season. And planting our gardens look a little different this year than it has in the years past. We didn't just experience a normal winter, this year or last. Our lands didn't just go fallow, they didn't just naturally end their cycle. They were decimated and destroyed. Winter, with the name of COVID-19, came 2 years ago, froze us all in time, and prevented us from renewing our gardens to the next spring and the next. This trauma caused permanent damage to our lands, causing what seems like a permanent winter to set in, wrought with isolation, fear, and loneliness. And we listened to the news, and we listened to the radio, and we thought it would be over. They said they had it handled, and they didn't, and it felt like a betrayal. In the Christian scriptures, the life of Jesus also ended with a betrayal. Judas, with whom Jesus loved so much, with all his heart, betrayed him with a kiss for a paltry reward and no real worth in the end. And there was no other way for the story to go. It is necessary and inevitable that Judas betrayed Jesus. If you're writing a story, and the moral of the story is forgiveness and hope, it can't be all roses and birthday cake. If there is no betrayal, no pain, no hurt caused, then there is no reason for reconciliation. And so Jesus is killed and put in the tomb for 3 days. And on the third day, Mary Magdalene and other followers, all women, went to the tomb to anoint the body. Then they discovered that the stone had already been rolled away from the entrance. And many accounts note that the followers were afraid. They didn't understand. They were confused. They didn't know what they would find. The long winter, the great betrayal of COVID, forced us to take a long, hard look at our Unitarian Universalist communities. If all of our flowers are gone, our gatherings, our fellowship, our connections that were so easy when the garden was in full bloom, what will our garden look like now? When we roll away the stone and we stare down at the cavern inside, what stares back at us? Did we find, as many congregations did during this time, that we mistook proximity for relationship? That we relied on the building, the space we mutually and habitually occupied to hold us in community? Or did we find, in addition or instead, that the light of the chalice, though perhaps just a spark, was still burning in the center at the circle of our community? That we were able to hang on to our core values as they guided us toward each other? That service is indeed our prayer, and our service to one another, staying connected, keeping that loneliness at bay, is what we're really trying to do here. Natalie Briscoe, who happens to be with us here today, let's all stare at her and make her feel uncomfortable. Who's our Southern Region lead, if you don't know Natalie, but a lot of you do, I'm sure. Quoted, and I quote, and saying, Unitarian Universalists have long misunderstood themselves in the context of religious mission. The purpose of the church is not to have the church. Unitarian Universalism can save the world, but we don't let it. We lock it away in scaffolds and structures. We confine it to process and systems. We build walls to hold it as prisoner. We keep our mouths closed when we should scream. We keep our hands still when they should work. We let fear guide us instead of love. That is wrong. This structure, this church, this building, this person, none of that can contain the whole of Unitarian Universalism. The purpose of the church is not to keep its structures in place. The purpose of the church is to be the institutional incarnation of love on earth, and it grows organically out of the needs of the people who are transforming the world through active, forceful, and fearless creation of love and justice. Saving the world leads to the need to feed the souls of those who are doing it. The work comes first, the structure comes second, if at all. Tearing down the structure only destroys the mission if the mission wasn't there to begin with. If the work is clear, and we understand ourselves to truly be the beloved builders of the community, then this process won't destroy us, it will set us free. These stories, Miss Rumphius and the empty tomb, they echo back to us that there is hope in spring, that repeated resurrection is possible, that in death there is also life. As the earth dies in frozen grounds, she returns with that sunshine year after year, cycle after cycle. They remind us that what we lost, those structures, processes, space, they cannot contain us. The warmth of our love is greater. It's greater than any long winter. The fire of our commitment will burn down any prison that tries to hold us. We still have the seeds in our pockets, and we are ready to go together. Amen and blessed be. In the tomb of the soul, we carry secret yearnings, pains, frustrations, fears, regrets, worries. In the tomb of the soul, we take refuge from the world and its heaviness. In the tomb of the soul, we wrap ourselves in the security of darkness. Sometimes this is comfort, sometimes it is an escape. Sometimes it prepares us for experience, sometimes it insulates us from life. Sometimes this tomb life gives us time to feel the pain of the world and reach out to heal others. Sometimes it numbs us and locks us up with our own concerns. In this season where light and dark balance the day, we seek balance for ourselves. Grateful for the darkness that has nourished us, we push away the stone and invite light to waken us up to the possibilities within us and among us, possibilities for new life and ourselves in the world. Please rise and body your spirit for our closing hymn, number 1030, Sia Hamba.
I have an announcement for our families from the Director of Lifespan Faith Development. The Easter Bunny left some eggs for us. All children interested in helping us find the eggs, please meet immediately after the service in the fellowship hall. I was just told to read it. I've got no answers. We extinguish this flame, but we recommit anew to carrying it into our week. The flame of justice and love. May we share with others the courage and strength we find here.
It's a strong flame, sorry.
Don't be sorry.